So students, in this session I am going to discuss about the techniques of hedging under unit number 4 in International Finance, subject for 6th semester BBA students. Myself Dr. Dakshani, working as an assistant professor in Government First Grade College, Rajajinagar. So now let us discuss what are the various techniques of hedging. There are two techniques of hedging. First one is called as contractual hedges and second one is called as natural hedges. Contractual hedges ಅಲ್ಲಿ you have four classification: forward market hedge, hedging through currency futures, hedging through currency options, money market hedge. Okay, these are the four classifications under this contractual hedges. And the second classification is called as natural hedges. Under natural hedges you have lead and lags, cross hedging, currency diversification, risk sharing, pricing of transactions, parallel loans, currency swaps and matching of cash flows. I am repeating: lead and lags, cross hedging, currency diversification, risk sharing, pricing of transactions, parallel loans, currency swaps and matching of cash flows. So let us discuss one by one all the two techniques of hedging. First one you have is contractual hedges. Adalli first one yavdu? Forward market hedge. It consists of an outright purchase of a currency at a foreign exchange rate. It is nothing but purchase of a currency at what? Forward exchange rate. Whenever you are purchasing a currency at a forward exchange rate, then it is called as forward market hedge. The hedge is affected by interest rates in the two countries whose currencies are involved. How the hedge is affected? It is affected by what? Interest rates in the two countries, okay, whose currencies are involved. Yav countries currency li ನೀವು ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀರೋ ಆ ಕಂಟ್ರಿದು interest rates, okay, is going to affect the hedge and the spot exchange rate between the two currencies. So there are two factors which is going to affect the hedge here, students. The first one is the interest rates in the two countries whose currencies are involved. Innondu spot exchange rate between the two currencies. So what is the spot exchange rate? That exists between the two currencies. Okay, so this is called as forward market hedge. What is the second one? Hedging through currency futures. Okay, so now the second one is currency futures. In the process of hedging at currency market option, the importer, he buys a call option or sells a put option or performs both the functions at the same time. So here illi we have to remember two things. One, the call option matte put option. So in the process of hedging, ಈ hedging process ಅಲ್ಲಿ process of hedging at currency market option. So here we are hedging at what? Currency market option. The importer, he buys a call option. Importer is doing what? He is buying a call option or sells a put option. So he is buying call option and selling a put option, or sometimes he performs both the function at the same time. Now what do you mean by call option and put option? Already I have discussed, but once again I am repeating. Call option is a derivative contract between two parties. So it is a contract between what? Two parties. The buyer of the call option, that is the buyer of whom? Call option, okay, earns a right. He is going to earn a right. That is, what is right? It is not an obligation. Okay, illi call option alli there is no obligation to exercise this option to buy a particular asset from the call option seller for a stipulated period of time. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಕಾಲ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಲಿಗೇಷನ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಲಿಗೇಷನ್ ಪುಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, so call option is a derivative contract between two parties. The buyer of the call option, he earns a right. Okay, right to what? Exercise his option to buy a particular asset. He can exercise an option to buy a particular asset but not obligated from the call option seller for a stipulated period of time. Okay, for a stipulated period of time he can buy. A put option is a contract giving the owner the right but not the obligation to sell at a predetermined price within a specified time frame. Okay, here also there is no obligation for whom? For the seller at a determined price. Okay, so within a specified time. This predetermined price that the buyer of the put option can sell at is called as a strike price. ಇದನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ? Strike price. I am repeating. A put option is also a contract which gives the owner the right. Here also it is giving the owner the right but not the obligation to sell what? At a predetermined price. To sell at what? Predetermined price with a specified time frame. Alli you have buying option, illi sell option. Okay, that is why buying andaga call option, sell andaga put option. This predetermined price that the buyer of the put option can sell is called as what? Strike price. So strike price is a price that the buyer of the put option can sell is called as strike price. Okay, so this is about hedging through currency futures. Now hedging through currency options. The exporter, he buys a put option and sells a call option or performs both the functions consecutively. Illi ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟರು? He buys a put option, okay, and he sells what? Call option. Okay, he is buying a put option and selling a call option. I told you, put option ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ seller, call option ಅಂದರೆ buyer. Okay, so exporter, he buys a put option and sells a call option or perform both the functions consecutively, then we say that it is called as an hedging through currency options. So money market hedge. So this hedge involves a money market position to cover a future payables or receivable position. Illi future receivables ಮತ್ತು payable position na cover ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ, then this is called as money market hedge. I am repeating, this hedge involves a money market position, okay, to cover what? Future payables or receivable position. If the firm has enough of cash, okay, well, before that we have one more point to be remembered here. This may be either covered or uncovered. Okay, money market hedge may be either covered or uncovered. ಯಾವಾಗ ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ ಮತ್ತು ಯಾವಾಗ ಅನ್ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಇಫ್ ದ ಫರ್ಮ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಎನಫ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ to buy the foreign currency or repay the foreign currency loan, it is called as a covered hedge. So very much simpler. Covered hedge andreno, if the company is having good amount of cash from his business operation either to buy the foreign currency or to repay the foreign currency loan, then it is called as a covered hedge. On the other hand, if it purchases foreign currency, okay, with borrowed funds, so foreign currency in the borrowed funds in the purchase ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ and repays the foreign currency loan by purchasing a loan, ಬೈಯಿಂಗು ಮತ್ತು ಪರ್ಚೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಎರಡೂ ಲೋನಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, then it is called as what? Uncovered money market hedge. It is called as uncovered money market hedge. So students, this is the difference between covered edge and uncovered edge. So covered edge alli he has got a good amount of cash from his operations wherein either he can buy the foreign exchange or repay the foreign loan. But in uncovered alli he is going to purchase a foreign currency from borrowed loan, or that is he is going to repay the foreign currency loan either from by raising loan. That is why it is called as for uncovered money market hedge. Okay, I hope you understood, students. So this is called as money market hedge. So with this I am going to come to the end of this first type, okay, that is called as contractual hedges. The second hedge is called as natural hedges. So natural hedge is applied when the contractual hedge fails to produce good results. So whenever this contractual hedge fails, then we are making use of this natural hedges. Contractual hedge provides only temporary protection. Okay, so it is not giving any permanent protection, but it is giving only temporary protection. The different techniques adopted in the case of natural hedges are as follows. So now let us discuss what are the different types of natural hedges that you have. The first one you have is lead and lags. Okay. So what do you mean by lead and lags? ಇದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಆಗಲೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಅಗೇನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಲೀಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲ್ಯಾಗ್ಸ್. Leads means accelerating, increasing or advancing the timing of receipts or of payments of foreign currency. Now akasmat the timing of the receipts and payments of the foreign currency adanna accelerate madidre athwa advance madidre, then it is called as what? Leads. Lag andre eno, it is just the reverse, and it means postponing the timing of receipts or payments of foreign currency. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ? ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ಪೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀವಿ. ಯಾವುದನ್ನು? ಟೈಮಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ. ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದು ಲೀಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ಪೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಲ್ಯಾಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So leading and lagging are practiced between two independent firms. So ಇದನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? Two independent firms, or sometimes it may be also found in intra-firm transactions. Okay, within the company it may take place, or between the two independent companies also it may take place. Okay, so this is about leads and lags. Okay, so I think you understood about the lead and lags. Lead ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಲ್ಯಾಗ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ಪೋನಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಏನು? ರಿಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟ್? ಫಾರಿನ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಈಸಿ ಟು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್? ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಹೆಡ್ಜಿಂಗ್. It is adopted when the desired currency cannot be hedged. ಸೊ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿನ ನಾವು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೆಡ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಹೆಡ್ಜಿಂಗ್, ಸೊ ವಿಚ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಹವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಸೆಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, next one you have is currency diversification. The smaller the number of currency in which a firm transacts, akasmat a company small that is, if it is transacting in a smaller number of currency, then the greater will be the magnitude of risk. ಯಾವಾಗ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ only when a firm is dealing with what? Smaller number of currencies. But thus a firm is advised to diversify its operations. ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ನ ನಾವು ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎನ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಎ ಹೆಡ್ಜಿಂಗ್ ಟೂಲ್. ಸೊ ಆವಾಗ ರಿಸ್ಕು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್? ಐದರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫೈ ಇನ್ ಟು ನ್ಯೂ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಫೈ by converting your small industries into a large industry wherein you are increasing your production. Once you increase your production, you can enjoy economies of large scale. ಆವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. then definitely what happens is that your risk also will be reduced, okay, by earning more profits, and wherein you can conduct your business in more number of countries. Okay, so that is why yavaglu stay, if you deal with less number of currencies, then the risk will be more. On the other hand, if you diversify your activities and if you deal with more number of countries currencies, then definitely the risk will be lesser. This is what is said in currency diversification. Next one you have is risk sharing. It is a contractual agreement through which the buyer and the seller agree to share the exposure. ಏನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನು, ಏನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅಥವಾ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದು ಇಬ್ಬರೂ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅಗ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾರೆ. ಯಾರು? ಬೈಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲರ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ವಿಚ್ ದ ಬೈಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲರ್ ದೇ ಅಗ್ರಿ ಟು ಶೇರ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್. Both the parties agree if the business relationship is a long term one. So ಯಾವಾಗ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಗ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ only when their business relationship is a long term and not a short term. Under this agreement, a base rate is fixed with mutual consent. So that is the current spot rate. ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ರೇಟ್ನ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಬೇಸ್ ರೇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಬೇಸ್ ರೇಟ್ನ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಬೋತ್ ಬೈಯರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲರ್ಸ್. ಅವರ ಕನ್ಸೆಂಟಿಂದ, ಮ್ಯೂಚುವಲ್ ಕನ್ಸೆಂಟಿಂದ, ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆಯಿಂದ ಆ ಒಂದು ಬೇಸ್ ರೇಟ್ನ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಬೇಸ್ ರೇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ರೇಟ್. A neutral zone is also agreed upon with a few ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ದ ಬೇಸ್ ರೇಟ್. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಝೋನು ಅಗ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡೆಡ್ ಆ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಝೋನ್ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಐದರ್ ಎ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ಬೇಸ್ ರೇಟ್. ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಬೇಸ್ ರೇಟು ಅವರು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಐದರ್ little more or less, okay, than the base rate. Okay, avaga they will be ready to agree to this neutral zone also. Okay, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ neutral zone ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, base zone also ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. when the exchange rate changes within the neutral zone, ಈ neutral zone ಒಳಗೇನೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು exchange rate change ಆದರೆ the transaction takes place at the base rate. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ transaction will take place at the base rate. ಏನು ಬೇಸ್ ರೇಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಆ ಬೇಸ್ ರೇಟಲ್ಲೇ ಈ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ನು ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ರೇಟ್ ಕ್ರಾಸಸ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಝೋನ್, ಆ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ ಝೋನ್ಗೆ ದಾಟಿದ್ರೆ ದೆನ್ ದ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಈಸ್ ಶೇರ್ಡ್ ಈಕ್ವಲಿ ಬೈ ಟೂ ಪಾರ್ಟೀಸ್. ದಾಟಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಆ ಏನು ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದಿಬ್ಬರೂ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಬೈಯರು ಮತ್ತು ಸೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಬೋತ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಶೇರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಲಾಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಬೈಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲರ್. ಈ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಇದು ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ? ಓನ್ಲಿ ವೆನ್ ದೇರ್ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ relationship is for a long term, and then illi they are going to fix up the base rate by their mutual consent. Okay, so a neutral point athwa zone also can be agreed, but provided it should be few points more or less. Suppose if the exchange rates takes place within the neutral zone, avaga the transaction will take place. Suppose if the exchange rate crosses the neutral zone, avaga ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ ಏನು ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಇಬ್ಬರು ಬೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾರು? ಬೈಯರು ಮತ್ತು ಸೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಬೋತ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬೇರ್ ದ ರಿಸ್ಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, next, so fifth one you have is pricing of transactions. Okay, which is also very important. In exposure management, the pricing policy adopted is of two kinds. Okay, so two policies are adopted, namely price variation and currency invoicing. What are the two methods? Price variation matte currency invoicing. What do you mean by price variation? It involves marking up or making down of sale price to counter the adverse effect of exchange rate changes. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ they marking up or making down, either they increase or decrease the sale price to balance, to counter, to face in adverse effect of exchange rate ಚೇಂಜಸ್. ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ರೇಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಅವ್ರೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ, ಆ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ರೇಟ್ನ ಐದರ್ ದೇ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್, ಮಾರ್ಕಪ್ ಆರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಡೌನ್, ಜಾಸ್ತಿನೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ನೇಮ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಸೇಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ವೇರಿಯಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈಸಸ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ರೇಟ್. ಆಯಿತಾ? The normal rate is to charge the price in foreign currency on the basis of what? Forward rate and not the spot rate. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಆನ್ ದ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ರೇಟ್ and not on the basis of spot rate. Okay, ಈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟು ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ದ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ರೇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ದ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ. ಸೊ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿಲಿ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಆನ್ ದ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟ್? ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ರೇಟ್ and not on the basis of spot rate. Whereas an invoice currency is the currency that a business uses to charge its customers. So invoice currency they are going to charge the currency that is or charge the prices in the foreign currency according to the customers. Okay, use that is there that a business uses to charge its customers ಗೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೋ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ they are going to charge, then it is called as currency invoicing. So students, this is about pricing of transactions. Okay, fifth point. Next one you have is parallel loans. It is also known as back-to-back loan or credit swap loan. ಇದನ್ನು ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ? back-to-back loan ಅಥವಾ credit swap loan. Under this agreement, the amount of loan moves within the country. Okay, loan moves within the country, but it serves the purpose of what? Cross-border loan. Okay, so under this agreement, the amount of loan moves within the country. Loans will move within the country, but it is serving, though the loan is moving within the country, it is serving the purpose of cross-border loan. At the same time, such loans are not exposed to the changes in the exchange rate because the funds do not move across the national border. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ವಿತಿನ್ ದ that is country. It is moving within the country. This is called as parallel loans, though it is moving within the country, but still they are able to undertake the foreign risk. Okay, the next one you have is currency swaps. Here two borrowers exchange the currency of borrowings with each other through a swap dealer. So there is a person called as a swap dealer. He is also called as a mediator. Okay, so avana moolaka they are going to exchange the currency of borrowings. Okay, that is why it is called as currency swaps. So swap andre eno, it refers to an exchange of one financial instrument for another between the two parties concerned. So swap andre eno, exchange of one financial instrument for another. Okay, one, you are exchanging one financial instrument with another instrument between the parties concerned. Okay, that is called as what? Swap. So the last one that you have is matching of cash flows. So here the firm matches its currency, foreign currency inflow with the outflow. Ili inflow of foreign currency will be matched with the outflow of that currency, not only in respect of size but also in respect of timing. So here at the time of matching the inflow with the outflow, it is done not only with regarding to the size but also with regarding to the timings. Okay, but for this purpose the firm must have both inflows and outflows in the same currency. So whatever the currency that they are dealing with, so in the same currency they should have both inflow andre eno wherein the funds are moving into the company, outflow andre eno wherein the circumstances the funds are moving out of the company. Only then there will be matching of cash flows. I am repeating, students. And the last one under this natural hedges you have is matching of cash flows. Illi the firm matches its foreign currency inflow with the outflow in that currency, not only in respect of size but also in respect of time. So but for this purpose the firm must have both the inflow and outflow of the same currency. Okay, with this we'll come to the end of this hedges. Okay, techniques of hedging, contractual ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವುದು natural hedging. The last topic that you have is in this slide that you have is hedging of real operating exposure. The area of real operating exposure extends to future cost and revenue streams. So here the hedging of operating exposure, it extends to what? Future cost and also revenue streams. Okay, cost ಮತ್ತೆ revenue streams. Hence, in order to manage this operating exposure, management of future cost and revenue is a must. ಇಲ್ಲಿ cost ಮತ್ತು revenue-ನ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ then it is called as hedging, controlling of what? Real operating exposure. Operating ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ the point that we can remember is with regarding to the cost and also with regarding to the revenue. So ಇವೆರಡನ್ನೂ ನಾವು ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ if you balance then we can hedge this operating exposure. So now we'll move on to the techniques of hedging. Okay, the real operating exposure. So what are the various techniques that you have to hedge this real operating exposure? The first one you have is financial strategy, then marketing strategy and production strategy. Under this financing strategy you have long-term transactions exposure hedging tools such as what? You have matching of cash flows, matching of parallel loans and matching of currency swaps. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಆಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲೋಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೋ ಮತ್ತು ಔಟ್ಫ್ಲೋ, ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಲೋನ್ಸು ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ದೆನ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ಸ್ವಾಪ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್. ಹೌ ಡು ದೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ದ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್. ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜಿಲಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಯಾವ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ನ ನಾವು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಡೂ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ. ಸೊ all these are the three important things to be covered under marketing strategy. Okay, so the third one you have is production strategy. So in the production strategy you have what? Products resources. Okay, we have to concentrate on what? Product resources. Input mixing. Okay, input mixing barutte matte plant location. So let me discuss about the first one that you have is financial strategy. This strategy involves, as I've already told you, long-term transactions, exposure, hedging tools. Okay, so long-term transaction hedging tools ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಲೋನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ಸ್ವಾಪ್ಸ್, ಅದನ್ನು ಹಾಗೆ ನಾನು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇಸ್, that is you have marketing strategy, that is market selection. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದರೆ the firm can respond to changes in exchange rate through what, modifying its market selection. ಅವರು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮಾಡಿಫೈ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ in order to select their market. And what is the next one you have is product planning. So definitely they have to undertake this product planning activities. So what is that involved in product planning activity? Okay, so the firm, it can respond to the changes in exchanges rate through modifying their product strategy. So product strategy na modify ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ then definitely they can react to the changes in the exchange rate. The third one you have pricing policy. That is, it includes raising or lowering a price of the product following the exchange rates changes. Exchange rate change ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ they can go for changing the pricing. I told you pricing variation in prices, ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು. Okay, depending upon what changes in exchange rates. What is the next one you have is production strategy, students. First one you have is product resources. Okay, product sources. So ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ಅರ್ಥ, the production strategy, it focuses primarily on what, product sources, that is input mixing and plant location. So you have to mix this input properly and you have to locate the plant. Okay, so to protect the foreign exchange to be spent on importing inputs from an appreciating currency country, product sources are existing. So product sources should exist once you have to balance your exchange rate changes. Okay, then you have is input mixing to arrive at the correct course of action. ಸೊ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸಸಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಲೊಕೇಶನ್. ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಟು ಅರೈವ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನ್ ದ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ವೇಟೆಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೋ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸಿಂಗಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನು ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಮೆಜರ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ವಾಟ್, ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ದೆನ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಗುಡ್ input mixing. Plant location. The firm can locate its plant in a country whose currency has depreciated, provided that inputs are available there. So ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ನ ಲೊಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ the currency is depreciated and then the inputs are available. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು, ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ is what is called as plant location. Okay, so this is called as hedging of real operating exposure, students. Okay, the next one you have is hedging of translation exposure. So there are two methods of hedging this translation exposure. The first one you have is a balance sheet hedge. Last one you have is contractual and natural hedges. Hedging of this type of exposure, it varies from one set of multinational company to another set and from one country to another. So it depends upon, it varies from one MNC to another, and not only from one MNC to another, from one country to another country. The most common techniques used are, first one, balance sheet hedge. Translation exposure emerges out of mismatch between the net assets and net liabilities. As I've already told you that ಯಾವಾಗ ಈ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ came into existence only on account of mismatch between the assets and liabilities. Balance sheet hedge, it attempts at eliminating such mismatches. So ಈ balance sheet hedge ಇಂದ we can to some extent avoid this misbalances or mismatching. Contractual and natural hedges ನಾನು ಆಗಲೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. When borrowings, investments are made under the process of balance sheet hedge, there is very possibility for the emergence of transaction exposure in face of changing exchange rate. If this is the case, contractual and natural hedges can be adopted. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ಯಾವಾಗ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದರೆ ಬಾರೋಯಿಂಗ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ when you're making any investments are made under the process of balance sheet hedge. ಸೊ ಆ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಹೆಡ್ಜ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇನಾದರೂ ಇದು ಬಾರೋಯಿಂಗ್ಸು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ದೆರ್ ಈಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್. ವೈ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ನೀವು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೀಟ್ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ದೆನ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎ ಮಿಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆವಾಗ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ ಎಮರ್ಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ರೇಟ್. ಆವಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ರೇಟ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಎ ವೆನೆವರ್ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಮಿಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ liabilities, then definitely we can make use of this contractual and natural hedges. Okay students, I think you understood about hedging of translation exposure. With this, I'm going to come to the end of this PowerPoint presentation.